What I would say is I was scared too. Embrace it. Like, this is the future. We're here. You can either look at the other LOs that are using it successfully and wish you were them, or you can do it yourself. When I look at my production 1 year ago to today, I'm not doing more marketing now. I'm not doing more like all this other stuff. I'm simply using technology. That's what I'm doing more now. It's getting as easy to underwrite non-QM as it is to underwrite conventional. It's getting just as automated or more. That's what's coming in the next 12 to 18 months is 7-day closings, like constantly, right? That's how it should be. For me, it was a natural progression of like, where can this puzzle piece fit in my business? You gotta always be evolving. You gotta always be innovating.
We've been doing this podcast for over 20 episodes now, and we've brought on top mortgage professionals to give you insights that help you grow your business. And we're going to keep doing that. There's just one favor I ask of you. It'll mean a lot to us if you subscribe to show your support. Now back to the episode. Hey everybody, welcome back to the Loan Officer Playbook. Today my guest is Robert Weinberg. Robert Weinberg is the top loan officer in Connecticut. I am not kidding. Like, the top loan officer. If you go to Google My Business, you search him up in Connecticut. I'm not talking about mortgage companies. I'm talking about individual loan officers. He has built an incredible following on YouTube and on social media, and is leveraging that to grow his business on top of using AI. Robert has a real thesis on how he thinks AI should be implemented, and he is already implementing it. Robert, I'm super excited to have you on the show today.
Thanks for having me. Looking forward to sharing with everybody.
I love it. I love it. I've been waiting for this conversation for a really long time. I think it's one of the conversations that, we had that preparation time before, and we got to chat about some of the ways that you were leveraging social media and all that stuff. How long have you been doing YouTube?
YouTube, I think I published my first video sometime in 2018. And really started like an ongoing cadence in 2019. So about 6-7 years.
Wow. And in the first couple of years, like, how long did it take before you start seeing some success?
I got my first couple leads and deals closed from YouTube around 2021. That was when it happened. So it took a couple years. I shouldn't say I didn't get any leads in the beginning. I got a few here and there, but actually turning them into closed loans, it was like early 2021 that I started getting some refi deals and some clients from YouTube. So it did not happen overnight.
How many subscribers are you at right now?
So my main channel is a little under 14,000 subscribers. And we actually just launched a new channel in the last 90 days that's going to be a lot more targeted to home buyers and real estate investors. And that channel only has about maybe 30 subscribers as we're talking, but I'm looking to build that. So I'm starting out a new channel just like many people here, starting from the ground up.
I think we're probably at 400 something subscribers on YouTube. We're still growing, so hopefully we can pick up some knowledge from you here. As an LO starting a new YouTube channel, how are you going about it?
I was winging it, that's really it. I knew I had to do something online with social media, and I like educating my clients. That's always been one of the main ways I differentiate myself from other LOs, was just a lot of transparency, a lot of education. So YouTube was a natural extension of that. And when I started out, it was 2019, like I said, so we didn't have a lot of the technology we have now. So I just did screen shares. Think of it like a Loom video with a PowerPoint. So I just figure out a topic, come up with 4 or 5 bullet points, literally a 1-slide PowerPoint, not a whole big thing. And then I just start talking. That's it.
Interesting. And where are you getting the ideas from? Because even though you're making the videos, the idea has to be tight.
Yeah. So when I started out, my ideas were based on what I was talking to my clients about every day, what programs were hot. At a lot of my beginning stages, if you think about 2019, 2020, 21, that was a hot refi time. So a lot of my videos were about refinancing and getting lower rates and debt consolidation, just all the stuff we were doing at that time. Actually, I got to the point where now if you go to my channel, I had a little bit under 1,000 videos. So I've talked about everything that you can talk about.
And how has the ROI been for you? I think when we were chatting the other day, you were telling me about one video that converted really well.
Yeah, so I'll preface it by saying that, if you asked me a year ago, like I was almost giving up on YouTube a year ago. I really was. I had, I closed business from it, but when I looked at what it took to invest in a team versus what I was getting out, I wasn't sure that it was going to be worth it. But I knew that if I did it long enough, as with all other marketing and other types of advertising, like you gain an advantage, right, in the marketplace. And it happened for me in October of 2025. That's when my YouTube floodgate, blew open. And it was like 9-10 months after I had hired the YouTube team that I was just telling you about. And they came up with this video about DSCR loans called DSCR for Dummies. I did not come up with it. They did. And we did the video, and it took about 3 weeks for me to get my first call from there. But the first call that came in, it was actually an appointment booked into my calendar. It was a gentleman that owned like 14 properties, and he was in the middle of doing a refi on 2 of them. So we got 2 refinances right out of the gate, okay? And then I'm like, okay. Then like a week later, I got another lead. And then, it started ramping up until all of a sudden I got a lead today from that video that was put back in September, maybe early October. But I believe as of now, I've closed over 20 loans off that one video. Okay, They're all DSCR, mainly refis. I think I've closed 3 purchases, though, off of that deal, 3 DSCR purchases. So, like, when you hit it, you really hit it, and it made me believe in YouTube as a long-term business model, and it made me, like, continue to go forward and not look at it in a silo of one video at a time, but, like, even if you only hit 1 video a year, it's worth it. For me, it's worth it. I don't know what everyone's economics are, but if you're able to close 10 or 20 loans on one video, I don't care what type of loans you're doing, there should be like a very high ROI. You asked about ROI. Yeah. So, just that I stopped tracking it now. It was a 10x return on the entire year. I took what I spend on 12 months of YouTube management, okay? And it was like a 10x return on that. Yeah. Okay? So, yes, it is worth it. No, it's not easy at all. But nothing in this business I found is easy. And once something starts working, then it stops. Right when you think you're going to ramp up, like I remember direct mail I do for years, and like we'd hit a really good campaign and then we'd try to replicate it and it'd fall on its face. So it's like you got to always be evolving. You got to always be innovating, right?
Yeah, that's something I want to ask you too, because do you think the success of that video, obviously you were a great media person, do you think the success of that video was as a function of like the work that you put into it, or it was a function of, let's say, because DSCR is popping off, I go to conferences, I hear about DSCR, people are searching about it, but there's no real information online about it?
I think the main thing on that video was it was the right place, the right time, but it was YouTube. So something that I didn't realize in the beginning is that like YouTube has the most sophisticated algorithm of any social media platform when it comes to like targeting people and what they're looking for. So the main issues that I had before is that YouTube wasn't targeting the right people. I get a lot of views, but they weren't the right people. They weren't targeted, right? Once YouTube figured out who was the right viewer for that video, it just went like asymmetrical, right? On the views, the reactions, the engagement, and my lead flow, okay? So it took the right video at the right time, and then YouTube doing what they do, which is serving the video to the right people. And the more of the right people that watched it, it's like this domino effect, where now like on every 1,000 views, I could get like 5 leads. The first 1,000 views, I don't even know if I got 1 lead or 1 or 2, right? So it's like, that's the type of thing that you need going on. And I'll give it to YouTube. Like, that's why YouTube's such a great place to generate leads for mortgage. It really is. They're very high intent. They've watched you. Many of the leads that call me now, they've watched me for 30 minutes to an hour minimum. I had one client call me that said they had watched almost all of my videos. So they like took their day off of work and were just sitting there binging my videos. Then they called me ready to do a loan application. So like, That's what I love, though. That's not somebody that's asking what's your rate compared to 20 other companies. That's somebody who needs the right advice and the right advisor, right? That's the golden ticket of leads when it comes to mortgage. And I've done all types of leads. I'd take one YouTube lead out of 10 of any other type of lead.
Well, I can imagine just somebody going on YouTube with like their popcorn, watching you for like an hour, and then taking in all the information, and then eventually calling you, and then being like, man,
sometimes they do, sometimes they don't, but you got to be there. You always got to be there. And that's the thing, the consistency. It's so easy to do something like for a week or a month or even a year and then just not do it anymore because it's not working. But that's not how it works. Like, this is not an easy business. It really isn't. I know that there's other people in mortgage that have gone on YouTube or on social media and they'll get leads from their first video, or they'll get leads the first week or month. That's not me. Like, that's not me. I've always kind of had to go about it the work hard way, right? It's never been easy. No matter what I've done, I've always had to work really hard for it, right? Yeah. So I don't mind. I just know if I keep working hard, keep doing the right activities, the payoff is there. It is. And I proved that to myself over the last 6 months with YouTube. The payoff is there. So I'm still on my same schedule, though. Like, I'm still doing the same thing today that I'd be doing whether that video blew up or not, right? I still would be. And it's led to other videos that are similar to that you'd look and go, oh, that video only has 1,800 views. But that video with 1,800 views on DSCR hidden fees, I have 3 closed deals off that video. 3, okay? The people that call me off that video are under contract on a home. And they are thinking they're getting ripped off, and that's why they're going to that video, because they're searching for hidden fees and different things to look out for when it comes to getting taken advantage of on a DSCR loan, and they come to that video, right? So, like, doing that sort of targeted content to the right person at the right time, it can work. It really can. You just got to be in it for the long haul. It's not a one-hit wonder, that's for sure.
Yeah. Man, let's talk about DSCR for a little bit and then we get into the AI conversation.
Okay.
About DSCR, do you think it's going to be the future of doing business in this market? I've seen a lot of LOs, that were purchase heavy, conventional LOs just going into DSCR because, the conventional market is harder right now.
I mean, for me, it's exploded my volume getting into DSCR, non-QM in general, but really with a focus on DSCR. But to me, it's not really my lead product, I mean, we're talking about the YouTube videos. Yes, like, I'm marketing to DSCR people on YouTube. But when I have a client come in, I'm still looking at conventional first. Conventional is a viable option for real estate investors. But the minute it's like they don't have income taxes, or they showed low amount, or they're unemployed, or whatever this laundry list of reasons someone can't get a conventional loan, I'm immediately and smoothly pivoting to non-QM, right? Sometimes that's a bank statement loan. Sometimes that's DSCR. Sometimes that's a P&L. There's a whole menu of products that we can offer now. And I think a lot of LOs, they get wrapped up in oh, this person doesn't qualify conventional. And then it's like this whole mission. But it's like, no, they don't qualify conventional. You pivot to non-QM. It's really that simple. And a big piece of that is DSCR. So for me, I don't know exactly, but I'm going to guess my production's about 50% non-QM. That includes mainly DSCR loans. I'd say my main non-QM I'm doing right now is DSCR number 1, and then bank statement loans, number 2. Okay? Yeah. Number 3, I do a P&L loan here and there, but it's mainly DSCR and bank statements. So that is the future of mortgage. And I think platforms like Figure and Nifty Door and some of these automated underwriting systems that are being used right now for HELOCs and second liens, I think that's bleeding slowly over to first lien, DSCR, non-QM, even conventional. Platforms like Pylon I've heard about, completely automating front-end underwriting or close to that. As that stuff becomes more and more, I think all these products are just going to be part of that engine, right? So DSCR and non-QM is the future of lending, but I don't think that future looks as different as a lot of people are saying, because I think with technology, it's getting as easy to underwrite non-QM as it is to underwrite conventional. It's getting just as automated or more, because there's less regulation, right? There's less oversight. I'm excited for AVMs with DSCR and, automated title searches and just a lot of stuff that's coming that can take these turn times down to just a few days. I think no matter what loan type you're talking about, like that's what's coming in the next 12 to 18 months is 7-day closings, like constantly, right? That's how it should be. I remember 15 years ago questioning like, why do titles take a week, 2 weeks to get back? Like that doesn't make sense. Now I see that being a big bottleneck in my process, appraisals and titles. So no matter what type of loan you're doing, you need that stuff, right? So I think that, as we'll talk about, AI's coming in and automating a lot of that. But I think that DSCR and non-QM is definitely the future of the mortgage industry for sure. And I'm excited for it.
I love it. I think a lot of these things would be automated. We've also seen like an uptick in some of the non-QM programs that people do. And Atti, we've launched this sort of like bank statement loan agent reviewer where you drag and drop the guidelines and then boom, it creates for you the thing. But also for any sort of loan program, it doesn't have to be bank statement, it doesn't have to be DSCR, any sort, you can just drag and drop. And you have a very interesting way of using AI, which I want to preface it first a little bit before we get into it. So we have a lot of people using Atti, not a whole lot, but we're growing. They use Atti as sort of Atti does its thing, and then they second the human sort of comes in and does this. You do the opposite. Tell me how you do it.
Yeah, so I guess it's worth telling everyone from a foundational level, unlike most LOs, I started in processing. That's my forte. That's where actually I'm a better processor than I am a LO. So because of that, I have a background in reviewing documents and calculating income and stuff like that. So the way I use AI is I go in and I review the documents like I normally would. I get them onboarded through my CR or my LOS, which I use Arrive. So, very, very friendly, consumer friendly. I get the documents through there. I do my initial review. I come up with my own calculation on the income, my own analysis of the credit. And not to toot anyone's horn, but if it's not a complicated file, I can generally work through pay stubs, W-2s, bank statements, asset docs, and credit in about 10 minutes or less. So if it's complicated and there's overtime this and bonuses and tax returns, yes, it becomes longer. But 8 out of 10 of my clients are going to be cookie cutter when it comes to that. So I'm doing my review, and then when I'm done with my review, I'm having Atti step in. I'm having AI step in and do a second level review of my findings. So it's looking at the credit, the income, assets. And then usually while it's doing that, I'm on a call, I'm doing something else. I'm stepping away for a minute. And when I come back, it's done. And then I compare what did Atti come up with compared to what I came up with. And there's been several times where it'll flag something that I missed on the credit report. Or, hey, this income calculation you did, Atti's doing it a little bit different, right? And I have to compare that. If at the very least it's critical thinking, wait, I have to explain to myself, why did I do it the way I did it, right? Double checking my work. I also use it prior to submission as a final look, because as many loan officers know, you might pre-approve someone, 2, 3, 4 weeks pass, months might pass. Now you're updating pay stubs, updating documents, new bank statements. I need to be able to quickly use those and review those and get them into underwriting accurately, right? Get that loan set up with my wholesale partner to get the loan underwritten. And I used to do a complete additional review. I'd sit there and second guess myself and have to double check. Wait, why did I calculate the income like that? I just download everything, do an updated quick review, and then I let Atti take the wheel. Double check my work, make sure everything's up to date. And it's funny because there was a few weeks ago I was about to submit a loan and Atti was like, wait a second, that credit report's expired. I was like, oh my God. I had no idea. I did not. It had a credit report from May 2025 in there, and it's May 2026. I didn't, in my head, I was quickly going. I didn't realize that. I just saw the May. My mind was like, oh, it's good. Atti flagged it. So it's little things like that that give me a higher quality underwrite, less pushback from underwriting. I know how the income was calculated. The flag for large deposits, that's huge. Who wants to sit there and look line by line at a bank statement? Atti completely automates a lot of that. So on my average file, like it probably saves me 10 to 20 minutes in initial doc review. And that alone, when you're closing, 8, 10, 12, 15 loans a month, it can really add up. It really does. So for me, it's been just a huge leverage point. And I've seen how far that Atti's come from the beginning to now, and I'm just excited to see what's next because it's come a long way.
Yeah, I think that's the beauty of AI, right? Because you can take somebody like yourself with a background in processing, and then you know your stuff, you know how to do it really well, and then say, well, I'm going to create my own process of how I review files. The thing about traditional software is that you have to use it exactly the same way that other people are using it, because they tell you. But with AI, I guess not only with Atti, but with anything, like I use ChatGPT way different than someone else is using ChatGPT. You can sort of tailor it to be your own. And thank you for sharing that. Robert, I want you to, as we wrap up here, what's your message to new loan officers or even existing loan officers that are in the business, scared about AI? What do you say to them?
What I would say is I was scared too. Embrace it. Like, this is the future. We're here. You can either look at the other LOs that are using it successfully and wish you were them, or you can do it yourself, because it's already happening. So anybody that's in a position of saying oh, I don't need that, well, you're going to lose your client to the person that is using it. I've just found, just technology in general has allowed me to process and just get done so many more loans. Like when I look at my production 1 year ago to today, I'm not doing more marketing now. I'm not doing more all this other stuff. I'm simply using technology. That's what I'm doing more now. Same amount of, apps, same amount of leads coming in. All this stuff is all the same. How is the output different? Because AI is helping me leverage, right? That's where Atti is. And when I first got Atti, my first couple weeks, I'm like, where do I implement this? How? I'm not really going to use it. Then I stepped back though and saw, how can I use this in my process? I don't trust it enough to let it do all the work on the front end. I really don't. No more than I would trust someone just coming into my business that I've never worked with before and saying, hey, here's the wheel, go analyze this application. So it just, for me, it was a natural progression of where can this puzzle piece fit in my business? For you, it's going to be different. If you don't like looking at income docs and analyzing that crap, well then run Atti the minute those docs come in. Accept it, run Atti. Let it take the wheel, let it do it. Pass it off to a processor. Whatever your process is, right? It can fit with you. That's the big thing. And I'm only using Atti AI in one very small part of my process, and for that alone I'm getting a return on investment. So you talked about guideline reviews and non-QM and some of this stuff where you can upload guidelines and ask it questions and bank statement analysis for non-QM files. All this stuff is gonna even bring our cost to produce a loan down even more on an hourly basis, just as far as how much it takes, how much time it takes to get a loan through the system, right? So don't be afraid as an LO. Figure out where you can implement this in. And I've looked at all the AI tools out there. I really have. I've done webinars, all this. I haven't found anything at a price point like Atti, right? Where it's actually economical. And I know that might be changing, but right now it's an absolute no-brainer. If you're closing even a couple loans a month, it's a no-brainer, okay? So as it continues to evolve, as things continue to grow, figure out where you can put it in your business, but put it somewhere. That's my big takeaway, is put it somewhere in your business and just make it fit for you.
I love it. I love it. Thank you so much, Robert, for the kind words. How can our audience reach out to you?
Absolutely. I'm always happy to share with the loan officer community out there. I mean, I'm where I'm at because so many people shared with me. So feel free to reach out to me. My website's robgw.com, weinbergmortgage.com for my blog. And hey, let me know how I can help you.
I have learned a lot of things from you today. So thank you so much for coming on the pod, Robert.
Absolutely. It was a pleasure, and we'll talk to you soon.